through my veins. On the pitch where the glory remains, the cockerel stands brave on the crest. North London pride, this ain't no jest. From Lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. Tottenham, Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
Sorry. Now, a long time ago in the 1970s, there was a singer called Elvis Presley. And he used to have a thing at the end of his shows when he goes off saying goodbye to the fans. Elvis has now left the building. Well, today we have the announcement. Daniel Levy has left the building. Shock and awe caught about that. Daniel Levy is no more. Thank you, Daniel. Goodbye. Good luck. See you later. Never to be seen again at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. And it sort of brings into a sort of something that was said on the Gary Neville podcast, wasn't it? People will only think of me when I'm gone. Well, you have gone, Daniel. You definitely have gone. And do you know what's next? It sort of defeats the object, doesn't it? It's a bit surreal. I was actually had no news of this coming. I had a phone call about 15 minutes ago saying he's gone, and I went, yeah, right, he's gone, yeah, right. I was told to look on Tottenham's website. Looked on Tottenham's website. Sorry. And yeah, lo and behold, there he is. He's gone back to his own planet. Oh, look, big up to Keela. Glad to see you in the chat, brother. I have sent you the link. If you want to come on, you're more than welcome. I know today is your day. It's not my day. It's your day because you've been wanting this for so long. And you've got part one. Now, will part two follow? That's the question. And I think part two will follow. If my gut is right and my gut instincts is telling me, and we have been saying on this channel for the last probably 6 to 7 months that changes are happening at Tottenham. People are going to leave. And, again, we've been proven right. We stuck to our guns and we've stuck to what we said was going to happen. And we did say this about 7 months ago, and like it or not, I think as a channel, we've been vindicated again today. And I think it's a great day for Tottenham. I think it's a great day for Spurs. It's a great day for the people that have wanted this situation. I think it's a day for them. People can celebrate. Is there a change in culture at Spurs? I think there is. I think there's a lot more going to happen at Tottenham. I think there will be a lot more investment. I wouldn't be surprised if Vivian Lewis is now going to come in and start taking control of the football club. Would people be happy with that? Would people be happy with Enoch and Vivian Lewis pumping millions and millions of pounds into Tottenham to buy the best players, to back the coach? And would people accept that? Or do you want a clean broom completely? Do you want Enoch out completely? Is that the next step now? Enoch to go? I don't know. I'm in shock. I did a member show earlier. I did a member show earlier, put it out tonight for 8, thinking that was my day streaming done. I was going to chill out this evening, talk about Ireland tomorrow. Oh, fucking man. I'm stunned. I am literally stunned that this has happened. But listen, guys, we are going to get into the chat. We are going to welcome a few people in. Big up Philip Brady says, don't ever forget Dermot and the crew here at THFC TV. I told everyone a long time ago this would happen. We did. Big up to Tony. He says, love you, Daniel Levy. Will miss you. Honestly, people won't understand how much this could actually change Spurs. This is going to change Tottenham completely from a sleeping giant into a roaring giant. We are going to explode. If not the next transfer window, but next summer as well. Tottenham Hotspur are going to start to explode as a football club. Wasn't expecting this today. Neither did I. I wasn't expecting it at all. Absolutely stunned. These are the type moments in life, right? Someone's going to ask you in 20 years' time, or 10 years' time, or 5 years' time, where were you the day Daniel Levy left Tottenham Hotspur? And I think these are one of the days where you're going to say, I was there. I was in Asda. I was having a meal. I was driving a car. I was doing something. These are the days where it's just unbelievable. Big up to Annie Bonner as well. Afternoon, folks. Again, I know I was on earlier. Again, well. This one come out of the blue. It certainly did. Big up to What's the Point? You were right, Dermot, as Daniel has left the building following Danny down the N75. Yep, that is so true. Big up to Ryan as well. Thank you, Levy. It's gone so no more Levy ever again. Tequila, he must be the happiest man in England today. He must be absolutely cock-a-hoop. He says, screw Daniel Levy. Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. He says, 15 years late. Yeah, I think 25 years late, Tequila, to be fair. Wow, Aldo McFarlane is shocked. What the heck he was. What a hack he was. Bye-bye, Danny. Big up to Mr. EE as well. If he had investors before, like he did in this window, he'd be a legend now. That's all we wanted, investment in the team. Now the rest of Enoch can get behind him and form a queue. That would be great. Big up Shawnee Maddox as well. I think people are celebrating too early. Levers being gone probably helps because even just on the transfers, people hated him. So he's probably as negative. I think people are probably celebrating too early. Levy being gone probably helps because even just on transfers, people hate him. So he probably was negative influence. Ryan is saying, give me oil money, Saudi. We don't know what's happening yet. I'm still waiting for a massive update on that for the people that we know. but funnier things have happened. Big up to Wayne. I see Tequila's gutted that Danny Boy's leaving. We've got to miss you, Danny Boy. Big up Tony. Need the rest of the bombs to join him, but it's a start at Wayne Bonner. Big up Shawnee Mannix. The problem, we don't have a clear evidence that he was the reason we operated in the Pacific manner, or is he just the middleman of the undershow? He was the man in charge of the football club. He was the buck stopped with him, Shawnee. The buck stopped with Daniel Levy. It stopped with him. End of. Thank you very much. Job done. And look, unbelievable. Bye. Wayne, what a change for Tottenham going to protest about now. Snail's pace. I think that's the best one yet. Greg Selnet, big up. Thanks for the stadium, mate. Smelly you later. Wow. Did he leave or was he pushed? That is the question we're going to ask today. If whoever comes next invests every time like we did now, we'll be winning the Champions League. He's working as Father Christmas this year as Asda. Told you lot he was going back to his own planet. None of you believe me. What's that? Marcala. I get you. Yeah. Levy said we want to compete in all four fronts. Now he's gone. We might have a chance. Big up Shawnee Malik. He said until we see consistent change in the behaviour with the club or multiple windows or new owners, I am not convinced anything will be different. And just keep going on. Big up to you as well. Big up to you. Big up to Carl Simpson. Big up to Ryan. Big up to Philip Brady as well. Philip says, I keep that. Big up. Note to new chairperson, whoever has a checkbook, players, not hotels. What else we got? Ryan, leave. Ryan, stop. Levy, Enid, David. Where am I going? Oh, here we go. I don't care who owns the club. I just want to see you run better football first. Exactly. What a change for Tottenham going to moan about now. That seems to be the biggest question. He still has a slice of the pie. He owns. That's gone, Anthony. That's gone as far as I know. As far as I know, that has gone. It really has. Hang on. Let me get. You must be the most happiest man in England right now.
No, mate, that's Daigle, but I'm not far behind.
Yeah. How shocked are you by this? I know we've been saying for months that something might be happening, but how shocked are you by the announcement?
After we bid for Gibbs White, that was an unusual Levy type of manoeuvre. So the flags were raised ever so slightly. Then, of course, it all fell apart. But even the impetus for us to do that that's not normal Levy behavior. And then, of course, it all fell apart. And then, we all felt quite bad about it. And then it's like, okay, then so same old Spurs. And then we did front up another 60 million, which is just we don't buy two players at 60 million. So the fact that we did with Simmons at the end, that could have been a little bit of a warning sign. But I mean, to be honest, anyone who's my kind of age, slightly younger than you, Dermo, but not much, but slightly younger, who only knows Enoch, why would we, myself and others, think this year would be any different? We wouldn't.
Yeah, you wouldn't. No, you are right in that. You wouldn't.
So, of course, it's a surprise on that level because, I mean, I knew it had to happen eventually. I mean, I was thinking either via retirement or death. Whichever one of those happened first, most likely retirement, right? I don't believe it or not, I actually don't wish death on the man. I ain't that bad, right? I don't hate him that much where I wish death on the man.
Can I just say, on this, you have been the most diplomatic fan going on this subject. You've always been very balanced on it. I have to say, you have been extremely balanced on this subject. What made you so balanced on it? What made you? You were arrogant. You want to leave you out, but what made you so balanced on the argument?
Because I think when I started watching in the late 90s, when I've got memories of us going out in the Europa League to Leverkusen. I remember Stephen Carr playing it right back. These are some of my earlier memories. Like I say, I'm a late bloomer in everything, right? Make of that what you will. But I was a late bloomer in football. I wasn't somebody who watched football when I was in my single digits. I didn't start until my early teens, and I didn't really get into it till I was about 18. So I was a late bloomer in that level. So my first couple of years, we were very much finishing 12th, 13th. And pipe dreaming of getting into Europe. So I do retain those memories. So when ENIC did come in and they made all these promises, and they never promised they were going to ever win the league. They said that they wanted to get into the Champions League. You know what I remember? I remember after Sol Campbell left, Spurs did a statement, and I remember this I remember this with clarity. Their statement, at the end of their statement, they said, and I quote, "See you in the Champions League, Sol." At the end of that statement, I remember it was burned into my eyes, right? Because Sol Campbell left not long after I started really following Spurs. It's one of the first things to happen. So I look at that and I can see that ENIC fulfilled their first promises because they did eventually get us into the Champions League. My issue became how he treated Martin Jol, because that was a personal thing because I love Joel so much. That became quite personal to me.
I don't think any fan, every fan loved Martin Jol. Even I love Martin Jol. And I think
he's my favourite Spurs. He's my favourite Spurs manager. He's not the best Spurs manager. He's not. No, but he's my favourite Spurs manager.
He was one of us, wasn't he? He was a fan.
I thought he represented, and that's the key word. And this is one of the problems I had with Ange that I talked about. I thought Joel represented Spurs with dignity and respect. I don't think Ange had that. That's half of my problem with the man.
No, personally. I agree. I don't think. Look. I don't think there's many managers we've had under the Levy era as chairman that you could really say that, can you? To be fair, Harry Redknapp was
Harry Redknapp, I had the opposite feelings. I don't think I liked what he did on the pitch, and I couldn't deny the general success or the improvements that he made on the pitch. But I didn't like this whole wheeler dealer, Nico Crancher. I don't like it. I don't like how he comes across. I mean, he's obviously playing it up a little bit for the cameras, and that's the point I didn't like as well, because he was playing up for the cameras. But you couldn't deny that the man, when it came to building a football team, especially back then, was better than Martin Jol. I can admit that he was. I just didn't like him as much as how he came across. But my point on Levy is that at the start, I do think they raised the club's profile. But once they got to the Champions League, it became very apparent, or it should have, to anyone who's watching, there was no desire to ever push on from there. So we sat, and then we've watched all these other teams overtake us. When I say overtake us, I mean, I said this before the other week. We've sat and we've watched all the other big six have their moment in the sun. And we're always the bridesmaid, never the bride, right? You want to use these terminologies? When was our turn? And the truth was, we never had a turn. Everyone else got a turn. We never got a turn.
No.
Yeah, because he refused to make that final step. That is when the problems come in. And that's why when I wrote earlier on, Demo, I said 15 years and not 25. Because I think once he got us to the Champions League, up to that point, I thought they did a decent enough job. They just refused to push on. That's when he needed to go.
Yeah, and when we got to the Champions League, it was like, right, that's it.
Didn't take advantage of it. Yep, didn't take advantage of it.
Look, it's going to be a lot said about Daniel Levy, but I think what we do is just in from Colin, big up to you, Colin. It says Daniel Levy is still a minority stakeholder within ENIC, but he no longer holds an executive position, but remains part of the owner via ENIC. So he's not going to have anything to do with a football club, but he still owns part of it. But I think he'll be doing that from somewhere far away. I think him leaving the club today is the last we'll ever see of Daniel Levy. The statement that was put out by Spurs, very, very long statement. How do you feel on this, Tequila? Now, it says here, as part of his succession planning, the club have made a number of senior appointments in recent months. Vivi was hired as chief executive officer, CEO, Thomas Frank as a new men's head coach, and Martin Ho as the women's head coach. Peter Charrington joined the board and will step into the newly created role of non-executive chairman. Who do you think Vivian Lewis is going to have something role in this club moving forward? And I will ask you the question that I put to the chat. If she comes in and spends big money and invests within the team, backs the manager, invests into players, would you be satisfied, or do you still want a clean break?
I'd prefer a clean break, but
Yeah.
I also believe that everyone kind of deserves a chance. So
Yeah.
if it is her, and let's say for argument's sake, let's say it is, then she deserves to have her ideas, whatever they may be, listened to and given time. Now, time's obviously a luxury that isn't very prevalent in football in general, not just Spurs.
No.
So all we can do is sit and wait. We should. I think this is a good sign, but I think it might have been Sean in the chat. I also am not getting carried away either.
No.
Right, I'm not. I'm happy he's gone, but it's the first stage. So now, whoever takes over, whoever it is, if it is this Charrington fella, if it is Vivian Lewis, if they've really got a different idea, then I want to give them a chance to express that idea. If it's more of the same, and we'll probably get a decent idea. It is going to take a couple of years. This is the thing. You have to look on the long term. Just, for argument's sake, let's say that we don't buy any players in January, right? If we don't buy any players in January, you can see where the narrative of the Spurs fans are probably going to be going, oh, more of the same. I don't think we can take that. I think as difficult as it is, because we all do live in the short term, myself included, it's hard to not live. Today is today. You live in the present. But I think we realistically have to say, okay, let's see what they do next window. And even maybe further along than that, you need to give them maybe another window. So we are talking 2 years before you might get an idea of if there is a different philosophy or not.
Yeah, so you're looking at the start of the next summer window as well. So you're looking at January, then the summer of the 26-27 season to see where we're.
I wouldn't judge January at all. I think I would write off January because I think that's just maybe not enough time. I know it's still 4 months away, but if there's as much change as it looks like there might be happening, then you might have to just say, okay, so next transfer window, you'll get your first indicator. Next summer, you'll get your first indicator. But I think you may have to be even more patient and wait until the following window and then see if this caliber of player who we seem to be going after does increase.
Yeah.
It will just take a couple of years.
Yeah, does that include?
Well, yes. Well, yeah. And that'll be another thing. If we continue to operate under these strict the wage requirements, which has held us back with getting the tippy top players, right?
Yeah.
That'll be also be indicator. If whoever takes over is willing to increase that, then that also will be another sign that they do have a different idea. I'm cautiously optimistic.
I mean, look, we've always wanted this day. We've actually even made this news has actually made Irish media. Major broadcaster RTE has actually broken on RTE news. That's how big this is. Which is quite funny because we never get mentioned on RTE. So we get mentioned even on it's actually on our Mage 6-1. It's like 6 o'clock news, I think, in England. And
it must be a slow news day in Ireland.
It is, believe me, it is. I haven't streaked across Dublin yet, and that I'm leaving that to tomorrow. Right. What else says in the statement? Daniel Levy. There was a question about the Gary Neville interview, and I want to talk to you about that. Now, he did say that this is all bottom of it. He said this is all part of the club's ambition to ensure that it's set up to deliver long-term sport and success. Now, Daniel Levy had said, I'm incredibly proud of the work I've done together with the executive team and all our employees. We have built this club into a global heavyweight competing at the highest level. More than that, we have built a community. I was lucky enough to work with some of the greatest people in the sport, from the team at Lily White House to Hotspur Way to all the players and managers over the years. I wish to thank all the fans that have supported me over the years. It hasn't always been an easy journey, but a significant progress has been made. I will continue to support this club passionately. Peter Carrington, the non-executive chairman, says, I'm very honored to become the non-executive chairman of this extraordinary club. On behalf of the board, I would like to thank Daniel and his family for their commitment and loyalty to the club over many years. This is a new era of leadership for the club on and off the pitch. I do recognize there's been a lot of change in recent months as we put in place new foundations for the future. We're now fully focused on stability and empowering our talented people across the club, led by Vinny and his executive team. there are no changes to the ownership or shareholder structure at the club.
Shame.
So, yeah. But do you think, Tequila, though, that will come in time, though? Everything has to happen at a certain stage. So, we broke a couple of Fridays ago that talks are stalled. We think because of Daniel Levy. Do you think that obstacle now been taken out of the way, that the selling of the club, say to a Saudi or Baron, right? Which Ryan put in. Do you think that might Levy's now? Do you know what I'm getting at? That Levy's now been removed. That talks are now resumed, or am I just thinking? Is that not true?
No, it could change. It will be depend on what. See, I think Daniel Levy overvalued the club.
I agree with you there. I agree.
Now, if they are being a bit more realistic, and people are going to tell me. I think you mentioned it quite often, Demo. Newcastle, when Ashley sold up, they didn't get that much for it. Of course, we're worth. Million. Yeah, of course we're worth more than Newcastle. With due respect, we're a London club. That alone significantly raises that.
2 billion.
Yeah, I think that's probably the kind of realistic frame. So if you're a buyer and Levy wanted, for argument's sake, 5 billion, and that price has just been halved because he's gone, then you're gonna have a lot more suitors, aren't you?
Yeah.
But this is assuming that Enoch, the valuation was not Enoch as a whole and not just Levy. And I don't think you probably know that. If Enoch themselves still think and still value the club at 5 billion, then nothing's going to change in that order.
I mean, to step down with immediate effect, Tequila. Look, you and me talked about this before, haven't we? That I don't know if I'm getting this right, but we both said sort of there's smoke without fire. Do you remember when Vinny was taken in and we were talking about, is there a fight with it? Is there a power struggle within the boardroom? And you look at Tottenham's transfer. When have you ever bought 2 players for 60 million? When have you ever bought players that are ready for the first team? And I remember you saying, a side of caution, just hold your horses here. Just hold on. We have to see what happens. I think you were right to say what you said, by the way, at the time. But do you feel, with immediate effect, that there has been some rumblings in the boardroom?
For all the crap I've given Levy over the years, you've never heard me say that I think he's a silly man. He's not. He's a smarter man, probably much smarter than I am. He's the millionaire, not me. So he's doing something right, isn't he? Let's be honest. So I think he's a very, very smart man. And I think I'm looking back at the fact that Levy generally has been very radio quiet over the years. And the fact that he actually did two, not long after each other, including the overlap, 2 public interviews, is uncharacteristic for him anyway. So maybe that should have been a little bit of a flag. And now I've been analysing, and I might have to go back now and watch the Neville overlap with Levy again, just to refresh my memory of everything that's said, because it's interesting to me that he would agree to do that when he's so radio quiet over the years, but all of a sudden he opened himself up to these interviews, almost as if you think about it, then maybe he kind of like, I'm going soon. Let's get my side of the story out there before I go. So I think he's a smart man. So I think that was planned well in advance. So this probably has been on the books for a while. How long? I don't know.
Then that answers the question. Do you know in that interview when he said, people only respect me when I'm gone? It's a very odd thing to say.
Yeah, exactly.
So the question is, and I know it's going to be hard for you and me. I've always been very balanced on Levy. You've been more on the hard right of Levy out. I've always been balanced. I think I was joining you after this window anyway. I said to you, I've said it on many occasions, and I think I've always said that Simon Jordan's always said Tottenham needs a new captain now. It needs a new captain of the ship to take it to the next level. Where are you look at change for Tottenham? Would they want Levy and Enoch out? Do their protests continue, or do their protests have to go into a different level now? Do you think they will say? I don't mean this to be I don't mean this to be annoying by any way, shape, or form to the people. I change for Tottenham. You do your protests, and you take your time out and you do them. But do you think they might take credit for this?
They will. They probably shouldn't, but yes, they probably will. Yeah. Well, I don't know these guys any more than you do, right? I've seen them on shows, so I've got no problem with any of them. I don't know them. I know that they've let us down a couple of times, but that won't come into it. I don't think the protests played that big a role. They will take credit for it, but I don't think, I'm not being funny, but I think Levy does again. He doesn't get to where he's get by having soft, thin skin. The man doesn't have thin skin. He's got thick skin. I'll give him credit where it's due, and I always have. So I don't think he generally sweats that. So I think that played a very, very minor role. I'm not saying it played zero, but I don't think that's no, Dermo. No. I doubt he cares. I doubt he gives a couple of thousand people. With all due respect, if it would have been 60,000 people turning their backs on the crowd, which is what I would have wanted them to do. Turn their backs.
Or walk out the stadium at half-time.
Walk out the stadium, or if they don't want to do that, just turn their backs. If everyone turned their backs for 5 minutes during a game, that would be something, right?
Yeah.
Levy might have to listen to that one. But a couple of thousand people, with all due respect to everyone who went there, he won't blink. Not for that, in my opinion.
No, I'm not saying... Can I just say that Brian Daigle, I think, deserves more credit because he's been at it from the start.
He has.
So I think people like that, if they want to take a bit of credit, I think they should. So can I just put it out there? I'm not demanding what Change for Tottenham do, but the protests have happened, and I just wondering where they're going to go now with the protests together. What route they're going to go down now? Because
I think they've got to sit on their hands, mate. They can't push anymore.
I think so too.
They need to sit and wait.
Yeah. Look, am I wrong to say, right? I feel someone like Jim White today. I don't know why, but I've just got him in my head today. I think you're very balanced. I think people do take you up the wrong way with your thing of view. I think you're more balanced about Levy than a lot of people give you credit for, to be fair. Is that fair? Is that a fair sort of thing to say?
He I find him very antagonistic to me because he's been quote unquote an enemy, not a personal enemy. It's not like me and him know each other personally, but he's been an enemy of mine for a long time. Like I generally think he's held the club back. As I said, after we got into the Champions League, I think after that we didn't push on, and I think he's held the club back because he was happy and it was safe for him. And I resent the fact that he was in charge for 15 years longer than I thought he should be. I resent that because I'm not even going to be alive that much longer, Dermo. I ain't going to get into it, but you know this, right? So to have 15 years taken from me with him in charge, I will resent that for a while.
Yeah.
So that for me is always something I will hold against him. That's just me personally. But so I've tried to be balanced, and I won't deny that he's not good at business. I just don't think he's very good at football. That's the difference.
No, I agree with you. Look, Basuma also, I'll just let you know, this is on the website of EPL Index that it says Tottenham Hotspur midfielder set to leave club and meet in the next few days. Spurs are open to Basuma despite transfer market remains active in Turkey and Saudi Arabia, I think. So, look, that could be another one out the door. Look, we've all slated Levy. What's the one legacy do you think Levy will leave behind at Tottenham? If there is a legacy. But if there is a legacy, what is it? I would think the stadium, I think, if anything. And probably leaving us financially better than we were than when he found us. Is that fair? Is that a fair legacy, do you think, that he would look in history? When history looks back on Daniel Levy, we look at other owners. Do you look at the owners that were Bill Nick? Their legacy is the trophies we won. The legacy of Scholar of nearly taking us bust. The legacy of Alan Sugar stabilizing us. So do you think so? The infrastructure, as Sean put, do you think that's his legacy?
I think I'm going to go back a few years here, and I don't know if anyone will even remember this. Some of you older fans might remember this. There used to be a show on Sky Sports called You're on Sky Sports, and it used to be on every night at 10 p.m. This is before the world went PC correct, right? So there was a lot of times on that show, and people said naughty things. That's why it got in. That's why it ended up getting thrown off. And there was someone on there who you may remember, Dermo, as an older fan, called Rodney Marsh.
Oh, he was Rodney Marsh is so funny.
He was very entertaining, but he got himself into a hell of a lot of trouble because he didn't have a filter. Like certain people we know, Dermo, he didn't have a very good filter on him.
No,
so no names. So he didn't have a good filter on him. So he said things that got him into trouble. But one thing that he always said that always sticks with me is that he was the first time I remember people talking about this tier list in the Premiership. And what Daniel Levy did, he took us from being, I think, Marsh used to say there was like 4 tiers in the Premier League. And what Levy did, he took us from, we weren't tier 4 because we weren't fighting relegation. We were tier 3. Levy took us from tier 3 to tier 2 and generally kept us in tier 2. That is his biggest accomplishment as far as he raised the profile of the club. So we became a team that qualified for Europe more or less every year. Granted, not the Champions League every year, but more or less every year we were in Europe. When I first was a fan, we celebrated like crazy getting into the Europa League. We celebrated like I remember one year, I can't remember which year it was. We got in via the Fair Play League, and we were over the moon that we qualified. Not because we deserved it, just because we didn't get too many bookings.
I remember one year we got into Toto Cup one year on the Sugar.
That's what I meant. Exactly. Yes, we had to play in the Intertoto Cup just to have a chance of qualifying. So you have to take that into account that he did raise the profile of the club.
Yeah,
but he was not willing to go any further. He was not willing to make the jump from tier 2 to tier 1, because tier 1 is a gamble, because you have to throw loads and loads of money, not only in fees, but you need to increase that wage structure, which has always been Danny's Achilles heel right from the start, was increasing that bloody wage structure. He was always reluctant to, right from the start. That wage structure haunts the man, probably because of his business. That's the part he couldn't.
Yeah.
That's his business brain not being able to handle it, in my opinion, was the wages.
I agree.
He couldn't handle that.
Now, conspiracy. I love a good conspiracy theory as much as anybody. I wish you and me would do one on conspiracy theories together. I reckon we're knocking out the park, especially the moon landing. But that's for another show. One time, if you and me want to do a bit of fun. Paris Saint-Germain owner is very close to Daniel Levy as a friend. The Qatari interest, now there was interest over the summer from MSP Sports Capital, said to be in talks to acquire 40% stake in the club. Do you think Levy is now going to, now this is only putting it out here, do you think Levy has resigned to join up with this new, say, a Qatari bid to take the club over from ENIC? If there has been an argument between him and ENIC and there's a split, do you think that might happen? Or do you think that's it? He's gone for good, never to return?
Wow, how depressing would that be, then, if he comes back in with a new group?
Sorry.
I think that would just...
Sorry.
I mean, imagine that would be the biggest gut punch that we've had in many a year, if that were to happen, then. I'm going to hope not. I mean, I can't sit here and say it's impossible. Of course not. Why'd you put that out there? Don't put that out into the cosmos, then.
I don't put that know what your action would be, to be fair.
Well... Let's just try and take it for what it is. Here's negative tequila, as I'm always called. Trying to take it and trying to be positive about it. I don't know what else to say about Levy. I mean, It will be interesting to see going forward, now that a lot of us, myself included, do put a lot of blame on him. Most of it, I think, is justified. Some of it, maybe not, because he is and was the easy to go to criticize. When something went wrong,
Yeah.
he was the first port. Now, there's been other people, certain managers, certain players. We've all of us, everybody kind of has that scapegoat, if that's a word to use.
Yeah.
We all kind of do. For me, it was mainly Levy, but now and again, it was the end. Sanchez, Dyer. We've all had Sanchez. I can't stand Sanchez. You blame him for every time we have a bad game. Dyer, every time he had a bad game, it's Dyer's fault. We all do it a little bit. So without Levy there, it will be interesting to see the fan base in general if stuff does go wrong. And let's be honest, it probably will at some point. You don't have, you will have your downs, no matter what club. Even the best clubs do have periods of downs. What we go to then is who are we going to blame? It will be interesting to see what us as Spurs fans do the next time we really, I think what this does do, Dermo, is I think that this season now is a past season. That doesn't mean you can't be excited. That doesn't mean stuff like that. By all means, be excited and have optimism that we'll do as best as we can. But I think that this change probably for me means that no matter what happens this season, I think you just have to now keep you cool, as hard as it is for us fans to do.
Yeah. So basically, Enoch have taken away the obstacle. So basically, Enoch have given themselves another year.
They have, yeah. Rightly or wrongly, they have.
Rightly,
yeah.
No, that makes sense. I agree with that. I think they have. Look, we've got a few here from the members, Tequila. We won't be on too much longer, and then we will end it off there, guys. Tonight there is a member show I did earlier. It's going out 8 tonight. Feel a bit foolish putting it out now. But it is out for you non-members. Spurs News show just went over the last couple of days Champions League group squad. No Batella's tail in it. But look, this news is, I feel a bit foolish putting it out now, but there you go. It's out there at 8, so just hit the like and subscribe on it if you can and get your memberships. It would mean a lot to me, Tequila and James, as we grow this channel more. I think this is the biggest day for the biggest news ever to break on the channel. I know a lot of other YouTube channels are breaking, but I mean, I'm just shocked. I can't still get my head around it. It's like, wow.
It's a point in time which me and you especially have seen a lot more than just Levy's Tottenham. I have seen 95%
of Levy's
of Levy's Tottenham with a ever small amount of sugars, ever small amount. But a lot of fans, I mean, I know that there's some fans in here who are our age group probably share that, but there's going to be some fans, some of the younger fans in the chat now probably, who only know Levy's Tottenham. And that is either you're scared to death or you're excited to hell or a bit of both. Probably a bit of both. And I think you can feel that way and you should feel that way. You can be excited, but be trepidatious is the good word. You can be trepidatious, you can be cautious, but be optimistic.
Yeah,
but
I think it is.
Be cautious. That's it.
Yeah. Big up Shawnee. Shawnee says, Tequila, that's the big problem, is we don't necessarily know what was Levy's acting on orders from above, or was it Levy's own decision? Am I right to say that anything that happened within Tottenham, it was Levy's decision? He was the man that said yes or no. I don't think it had anything to do with Enoch, really. It was down to him.
I think so as well, but the part that I don't know about is that when it comes to actually selling the club, you don't know as well as I do that somebody might have come in to offer for him and said, "There you go, Mr. Levy, we'll give you $3 billion." He's gone to Joe Lewis and said, "There you go, I can sell it now for $3 billion." And Lewis has said, "Nah, hold on for $5 million." Just saying, we don't.
No, that's true. That's true. Big up to Razzle Dazzle as well. It says any chairman will have 6 to 12 months notice period, so it would be known for a long time in the house.
Probably.
That's true. Philip Brady says White Hart Lane officially opened 126 years ago today. Today was another momentous occasion. Wow. Our stadium is 126 years. It's Tottenham's birthday coming up as well, actually, in the next week or so. But look, Daniel Levy, actually, again, history, something that I want the new chairman to do, embrace our history, which I think Daniel Levy has never done. I'm a very big person on history and Tottenham history. It should be It should be there. It should be looked after. It should be, lovely cared for, because that's what the club is built on. And I hope the new owner comes in, and I hope the new owner starts using the ex-players properly, a bit like Manchester United. Starts, I just want them to do more on the history side of Tottenham.
What they need to do, Dermo, as well, in my opinion, as well, is that we need some more football people on that board. I'm fed up of these faceless CEOs. I'm fed up of them. I want some Spurs legends. And I know there's, don't tell me that there isn't any who could actually do this job, right? No, don't tell me that every single Spurs legend is an idiot and doesn't have any kind of a sense of a business brain. Most of these guys are millionaires. They have a brain, right? A lot of them do. You're not telling me we can get somebody in on the board who's a football man, who knows Spurs and who is football first, just to give the board members, the corporate board members, just the other side of it. We badly need somebody like that on the board. That would be one of the first things I'd do if I was to take over. I'd get a Spurs man on the board who cared about football first. Doesn't mean you always listen to him, but he will give you that other side, that balanced side that I don't think they've done.
How about a little committee then? A Spurs Legends committee, that football people committee, that they report to the chairman. This is what we think. And they include the manager into that as well. He's got to have his input. Have the manager and 3 or 4 ex-Tottenham legends, football people, and then that one person then reports to the board or to the new chairman. Right, this is what we need to do this summer. This is where we need to spend our money on. I agree with you. That needs to be done. It's done in, I think Ajax have their own they have that built into Ajax. Ajax is run by ex-professionals. They have a committee and they report to the board with the manager, and they report to the board. I think that needs to be done at Tottenham. I agree with you 100% on that. I think that's a no-brainer. It really is.
And they can't just be. They need to be taken seriously. It can't be like some of these, with all due respect to some of the fan groups who have kind of a seat on the board to a certain degree, and they're never listened to. Demo. Yeah, they need to be someone not who can make decisions. I'm not suggesting that, right? The board are always going to make the decisions. I'm realistic, but somebody who in seniority, who will at least be given the respect that they deserve and their insight be taken seriously as well. As no, this is Spurs. This is our history. This is how you run Spurs. Because obviously, I'm not sure that many on the board really have a clue. Just because Levy's gone doesn't mean the rest of the board all of a sudden are these geniuses.
No, I don't think
like
so.
Ajax, like Ajax, easily, The Ajax, we should be incorporating a lot of the Ajax systems, don't we?
We should be. Look, where else is that? We've got this one from Razzle Dazzle. Spurs turnover has increased 3 times from 216 million to nearly 650 million. Levy has built the infrastructure for the club going forward, and he also adds to that. That's in the last 12 years. Without the turnover, we would not be able to spend half as much as we can now. On the financial side of it, Tequila, again, off non-football activities, I think nobody can question what he done and how he's made us more, earning our own money. A new chairman comes in. What do you want to see from a new chairman? What do you want to see from Vinny? What do you want to see from Jarrington? What is on their to-do list when they sit in their new role, say tomorrow morning? What is on top of their to-do list? What do you want them to do on their to-do list?
Have a plan. Because I don't personally believe, even though the transfer window, we recovered it to a decent level, I still say it's a 6 because the outgoing was so bad. Other people are being a bit high. That's fine. I am fed up, and this is one of the things I hope really does change. I'm fed up with these opportune signings that it appeared that Levy was obsessed with. Opportune signings. Sometimes, Dermo, and this is true, you just need to pay up.
Yeah.
Get the player early for the manager to give him the best chance of succeeding in the following year. Don't wait until the last few days. You don't have to wait till the last few days. I'm not saying you can't ever do it, right? Liverpool just waited till the last few days to get their main target probably of the summer. So I'm not saying it doesn't ever happen, but it happens way too often with Spurs. And even as recently as We were scrambling around at the last minute trying to get the winger from Atalanta in. We didn't manage to do it. But why put us in that position in the first place? We didn't have to be in that position.
No, we didn't. I'm just trying to look and change for Tottenham's web X page. There's nothing on there yet, so I assume there will be something up there in the next while for them. And there's also nothing from the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Club I trust either. So there are two big things that we're waiting to hear from. I just can't believe it, Tequila. I'm sorry. I'm shocked. I'm not usually shocked, but I really am shocked. Now, James is here. Big up to Hot God 10. He's saying, Joe Lewis's family wants more involvement. I read his daughter is a massive fan of our club and wants to help with investment. And that's according to Paul O'Keefe. And also, there should be a financier, coach, and sporting director. Do you think now, with Levy gone, we can now structure the club properly within the football side?
I would like
more streamline it. Sorry, let me rephrase it. Does it need to be more streamlined?
I think it does, but also I just think there needs to be more. I can't stress this enough, though, Mo. I think it's one of the reasons why I think Paratici is the best of the bunch when it comes to what he does. I consider him more of a football man than a corporate shill, for the lack of a better term, right?
Yeah.
These faceless CEOs, that's what I call them. The majority of them don't know D about football. You get the occasional one who does, but more often than not, they don't. They know about business. I don't want to see them anywhere near the football side. It's not just Levy. I don't like Vinci. That's his name, isn't it? I'm skeptical about him. We'll see, but I'm skeptical about him as well. I want more football people in who I consider football people.
Yeah.
Be it ex-players, ex-managers, whatever. I want to see them more involved. And like I say, there's a whole bunch of Spurs legends who are just sitting there, probably with a lot to offer when it comes to knowledge, not only about Spurs, but about football in general and ideas. And we should be tapping into their knowledge, and we don't.
Yeah, we should.
I want to see more of them involved. I
agree with you. Now, Talk for Tottenham 53 minutes ago did put on there that this is only a rumor, guys. Nothing's confirmed unless it's 100% confirmed. This is just a rumor. That reports are out there suggest that Enoch are set to sell the club imminently. Daniel Levy jumped before being pushed out by new owners. Massive changes all throughout the club. New era for Tottenham Hotspur. Where are you on this? For Thomas Frank's point of view now. Do you think Thomas Frank's sitting in his office today, Tequila, thinking, right, I can now get the players I want. I can have the window that I want. You want?
I don't know.
Sorry.
I don't know, mate. It's like, if I'm Thomas Frank, it depends. If I'm Thomas Frank, and we won't know this, but if I'm Thomas Frank, if Levy played a massive role in choosing me as Angie's successor, I would be concerned. Why? Because you know as well as I do that every time a club is taken over by someone, normally the manager who is currently in charge ain't in charge for long. Levy did it himself when he kicked out Graham and brought in Hoddle. So we know. So if I'm Thomas Frank, he must be a little bit like, if he didn't know, and we don't know, if he didn't know, he must be a little bit like, oh dear, I hope I have a wonderful season, because if I have even an average season, if we get sold, they're going to bring in some superstar manager. He probably might be thinking that, unless he already knew. That's different.
I do you know what? I think he did. I think he knew what was coming. Yeah, I think he did. I do know what? I think Tottenham are now at the crossroads of where we go now. Very much on the crossroad. I think this brings me back to when Alan Sugar saved us as a football club. We were on the crossroads that time. And I think we're on the same crossroads now. But this time we have to take the right road. We have to take the right road. We didn't take the right road under Alan Sugar. As much as he tried, and as much as he tried to do his best, we have to now take the right road. Big up to Ryan. Rayman, it says Dermot Tequila. Hi, big up to you.
Hey,
big up to Dara as well. God Levy gone. but just to make a point, Enoch was always the one with the money and the ones that never invested. So it will be interesting what happens. Big up to David Clark. Levy, don't let the door hit you on the way out. But I thought that was good when you put that in the killer fair. Shawnee Maddox says, I think it's unlikely this wasn't always part of a long-term plan. Levy ain't the type to step down without giving proper notice. Where I mean, what do you want to talk about, Tequila? It's up to you.
Okay,
I mean,
David. Okay, I never said it was every single time, mate. But more often than not, you know as well as I do that when someone takes over, the first manager doesn't last long. Just because one club doesn't do it doesn't mean that's not the normal.
Well,
most of the time it happens.
Yeah, well, Newcastle it was because am I right? Steve Bruce was in charge when Newcastle got taken over, and he actually
when did they get? How long did it take before they brought Eddie Howe in? Then do you remember?
Not long, a month or so. I think it was a month and a bit. If my memory serves me right, my memory's quite shit nowadays, but I think it was very soon after they took over that he left. He left in his own accord. He resigned, I think, and then Eddie Howe took over.
I think, and the thing is, it's like, I don't blame the owners. It's not like I blame the owners. If you're paying all that money for a football club, you're going to want the person you want to be in charge. And so it's not like I don't get it. It's like they've just spent all that money, more money than most of us will ever see in our life. They just spent it on a football club. You think that they don't want to have the person in charge of the actual football team, the person they want, rather than who the old guard want? No, mate. It's a power play, but it happens all the time.
Yeah. Look, as we end the show, Tequila, on the day that Daniel Levy has left Tottenham Hotspur, has stepped down as chairman, there's a whole restructuring. Where do you see the next 6 months at Tottenham? Are you going to enjoy Tottenham more over the next 6 months now with Levy gone? Are you now going to allow yourself to? Angie's gone, Levy's gone. Are you going to allow yourself to enjoy it a bit more now of watching Tottenham? Still be angry if we lose, still be angry with the manager, still be angry with the players, but with them gone, can you now enjoy yourself a bit more? Because I think you're entitled to, and I think a lot of people owe you an apology because some of the way you have been quite spot on with some of the stuff you have said. I'll be the first one if I've ever disagreed with you. I do apologize. You have been spot on with some of the things you said, but can you now enjoy Tottenham now a bit more with Levy and like Ange gone, Levy gone? Can you enjoy it now? I hope you can.
I've always been honest that I'm a jaded fan. I was looking in the mirror and realized that is what I've become. And a large part of that, if not most of it, was because of how we have run Spurs for such a long time. Yeah. So with this gone, I can now allow myself to try to, and it's not something you can just, it's not like a switch, right? It's going to take a while for me to do this. Yeah. But I will attempt to try to not be as jaded as I was, because now I can try to have, there's this word called hope, right? It's in short supply with a lot of people. I happen to be one of those people. It's difficult to fill that cup up for me. I think it's easier for some other people like yourself, Demo. That's not me slacking you off. It's just people are different. Your cup gets filled easier than mine.
I'm just deluded, you know. I'm a loony.
Well, you said it, not me.
I know. I am.
I'm just trying to. Yeah, but it's not where anyone's better than anyone else. It's just different.
No,
it's not like I'm better than you or you're better than me. Not. It's just like it's like I say. It's a cup that takes much longer for me, a long time to fill, but it was never able to be filled virtually at all because of who we had in charge. So now that we've got rid of the manager that I personally had a problem with, and now more importantly, really, than the manager, because the manager was always much of a short-term thing, but now we've got the guy who, in my opinion, was the ones who was holding us back on the football side. Let me put that in there. I can now allow myself to have a bit of hope. That's the best way I can describe it. But I'm not going to jump in. I'm not going to do a two-footed tackle. I'm going to be cautious. I'm going to sit and wait. I implore the rest of you to do the same, but you guys do what you want to do. If we lose our next game 3-0, I won't even probably say a thing. I'm just going to sit and I'm just going to wait. And I'm not going to react game to game. I will react at the end of the season. I will then react after next year's window and see if there is real change. And then I can say to you, okay, now I do have some hope again, Dermo.
Yeah, and that I wasn't trying to be insulting, by the way. Please don't take that in any way. It wasn't. I want you to enjoy Tottenham, and I know with Ange and Levy, you've said it, JD fans. Please don't take it. It wasn't meant in any way. So please don't think I was just asking.
No, I wasn't. It's living without hope in any form of life, and you don't need me to tell you this. It's not a very nice
true.
feeling.
Yeah. Now, talking about change for Tottenham, they have actually put out a statement.
Of course they have.
So,
sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm sorry. You
Look, I honestly don't know. Look, I honestly don't know any of these people. I have absolutely nothing against any of them, and I actually respect a lot of them for actually going to the trouble of protesting. I really do. But it's like they are going to take the credit, aren't they?
Well, they're actually not. Believe it.
They're not. Okay, go on then.
That shocked you and me straight up. Statement for change for Tottenham. Just put out. Change for Tottenham welcome the news of Daniel Levy's departure. Whilst the decision is years too late, this call should have been made a long time ago, after the years of mismanagement and poor decision making at the very top. Whilst Change for Tottenham do not take credit for Levy standing down, since our founding, we have constantly put pressure on ENIC to make this important and right call. Daniel Levy clearly has been a success off the pitch with our incredible stadium, world-class training ground, and business acumen. But it's obvious that the actual football and fans have become a secondary priority to him. This isn't the end of our campaign. We will continue to make sure sporting success, not just financial success, are key priorities for the club. Together, our voices are stronger. Our club, our voice. That is the statement from Change for Tottenham, just out about last 5-10 minutes.
I think that's very good. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
I think they covered all the bases there. I think that suggests to me that they're going to be monitoring very closely what happens, which is, I think, is what all of us can do. That cautiously optimistic. I think that's exactly what they've just said. Okay, so now you've done something to maybe address this. We'll give you some time, but we'll be watching. But we'll be watching. That's what they've said.
Yeah. Spurs Army, as saying 6 minutes ago, and that was out of 5 minutes ago, by the way, that statement for Change for Tottenham. Spurs Army says generations of the Lewis family support this special football club, and they want what the fans want. More wins more often. This is why you have seen recent changes, new leadership, fresh approach. In Vinny, Thomas, and Peter, they believe they have the right team to deliver this. This is a new era. Now, that's from Rod Harris, Sky News. Alistair Gold, Peter Charrington is the new non-executive chairman. Levy was an executive chairman, so Vinny is hands-on with day-to-day running of the club. CEO Levy and his family still own or beneficials of 29.88% of ENIC shares of the club. It is a big day for our club. Do you think that maybe right, I'm going to ask a question here. I don't know how people are going to take it, but hey ho, I'm going to ask it anyway. Do you think he might surprise us now? That it probably was more Daniel Levy than Joe Lewis.
What would be interesting, and I use the word interesting because I don't know how the Spurs fans would feel about it. I know there'd be some of us probably who would find it incredibly entertaining. Others might think it was a bit out of order. I'm not sure where I stand on it, but what would be interesting if they threw him under the bus?
Do you know what? I think they have.
We'll see what comes out over the next couple of weeks and months. If they do ever release any statement about, we thank Daniel for his efforts, and then they throw in a little line like, but we expected more, or we should have achieved more, or we should have done better. We'll see if they add those little comments, and if they do, that will be them taking little digs at him. We'll see.
Tottenham have released a statement on their website. I'm just going to go back to it again. On the saying, this is a new leadership club on and off. I do recognize there's a lot of change in recent, but Peter Charrington does say this is a new era of leadership for the club on and off the pitch. I do recognise there's been a lot of changes in recent months as we put in place new foundations for future. We're now fully focused on stability and empowering our talented people across the club, led by Vinny. And I think that's a dig there, saying that I think if you read between the lines from Peter Carrington, I think there's a dig there at Levy, that we're now fully focused on stability and empowering our talented people. That he was too much of a control freak. Everything had to be done by him.
It could. They have wordsmiths going over all these statements, Dermo. You know as well as I do, these are all carefully constructed and prepared statements. So you can imagine him having a little sly. If you can imagine him saying this, right? He's got a little sly look on his face, but he never quite smiles. He's got a little bit of a sly look on his face.
Yeah.
We'll see. Like I told you, give it when this blows over. So a couple of months down the line, when it's not as fresh, we'll see if certain people say a couple of things about under Levy's watch. We'll see what comes out after months from now, when they feel it's more people won't notice as much.
Please say the hotels are not being built either. I do not want them hotels in front of.
No, they probably are going to. I don't think. Yeah, I doubt they're going to not build the hotels.
Big up to Wayne. It sounds like they were saying Lewis was the Tottenham version of Vince McMahon in his WWE time. Yeah.
Wow, Wayne, that's considering what Vince McMahon ended up being accused of, that is. I'm not following you on that one, bruv. I'm not following you that far, Wayne, bruv. I don't know if he's going to be accused of doing some of that stuff. That's all I'll say about that.
Guys, that is it. On a day that has shocked the foundations of our very club, 25 years, Daniel Levy has left the building. Tequila, I know you're on a very good gaming channel. I did watch it last night. I can't wait I've already pre-ordered the Bond game already. I can't wait. I have to wait till next year to get the damn thing. I know Amazon. Did you see the deluxe edition for €300? Did you see what you get with it?
No, I'm not a Bond fan. I know that I'm really in the minority, and that's okay. I've never been a Bond fan, probably because my mum used to shove the movies down my throat when I was a kid, so I had the resentment of Bond thrown into me. Because do you remember the film You Only Live Twice, Dermo, with Roger Moore, with Sean Connery?
Yeah,
my mum used to play that every night. Honestly.
Oh,
no wonder I
don't blame you, actually.
No wonder I ended up the way I am, right? Because I was fed Sean Connery Bond films every night, right?
Yeah.
So my point is that for Bond fans, it looks really good. So you guys should knock yourselves out of it, but not my cup of tea. But
as a game, does it look good as a game though? It looks very visually. It looks brilliant, actually.
It looks like Hitman. It looks like Hitman.
I love Hitman games.
A lot of people like that game. So if you like Hitman, then you'll probably like it.
Yeah. Tell people a bit more of the play pouch and where people can find it.
It's just, a bunch of 40-year-olds and Colm, who's slightly younger, playing some games. One of my mates has just started playing Metal Gear Solid, but he's not enjoying it that much. We'll see if he continues. And I think we're going to be doing a Gears of War Reloaded, which is the new Gears of War remake. I think we're going to be doing that a couple of nights in the near future. So look out for that. That's it, really, guys. Play pouch. Thanks.
And you will find Tequila on here as well, given his voice and reason. Look, I don't know. I think you deserve to take us out today because of Levy's step down. So Tequila, go on, you take us out.
Well, from my perspective, thank you, Daniel Levy, for stabilizing the club, getting us into qualifying on a regular basis for the Europa League and occasionally the Champions League. I think you did not make Spurs into a joke, although there certainly was some joke moments. And I'm also happy that now we won't have the most hated chairman in the Premiership anymore, so we can actually do some deals. What I won't miss is this scattergun approach you had for transfers. I won't miss this opportune signings that you were obsessed at. I won't miss the fact that you felt you had to get involved all the time and you had to win the game, because I believe, Mr. Levy, that you put your personal ego ahead of Tottenham Hotspur because you had to win the negotiations. You had to get a deal, didn't you? You had to. You had to get a deal. Every time you had to get a deal. You had to feel like you'd won. And that is your biggest crime, in my opinion. But thank you for the stadium. And don't come back. I don't want to see you again there, mate. I don't. And Dermo, I don't want you putting any more thumbnails with that man's face ever again. I don't want to see it on any more thumbnails.
Now. I'm going to have to
burn them.
I'm going to have to do all these. I'll have to find pictures of Vinny and Peter Carrington now. That's going to be.
Well, hopefully they don't look like aliens like Danny.
Yeah,
bless him.
Guys, I'm back on tomorrow night, and maybe Dickie might join me on the England View. I am doing an Ireland show with Ireland's World Cup. England's also doing theirs. I'd be for the next 10 days. I will be broadcasting from a different area of Ireland. So I will be broadcasting live, but I will not be in my home. I will be somewhere else broadcasting. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, we've got everything coming up, all the build up for the West Ham game, the West Ham watch along. We've got the Ireland watch along as well coming up. But guys, thank you so much for watching Tequila. Thank you so much for joining me. Guys, do get over to the Play Pouch, hit a like, hit a subscribe over there. Let's get them guys up to 300 or 500 so they can start earning some money as well on that channel. But he's gone. That's it.
We can be optimistic.
Yeah. Come on, you got to do your Aussie thing. Go on.
And that is just who we are, mate.
Good night.
Eyes on the prize.